In this series on how I write, design, and self-publish my books, in step number 6 of the process, here's how I go about writing my books really fast with my already prepared Google document book template. Now, real quick, why use my Google document book template to write your book? Well, reason number 1, write your book in the cloud via Google Docs so your manuscript never gets lost. I tell you something, you could be writing in Microsoft Word and something happens to that program and you're locked out of your document. I've seen it happen. Also, you could be writing your book in InDesign, a professional publisher program, and I've seen problems with that too. You know, when you're initially writing your manuscript, don't take any chances. Write your book in the cloud, via Google Docs, so your manuscript never gets lost. You could lose your computer, your computer crashes, and then what happens? Again, you lost your manuscript, and this is the start of your new book. It's the beginning. Don't lose that initial inertia writing your book. No way. Reason number 2, you can customize the page size in inches for an accurate page count, such as 5.5 by 8.5. Don't write your book in 8.5 by 11 size if it's going to wind up 5.5 by 8.5 or 6 by 9. With a Google Doc, you can customize the page size to be what you want. So I usually put it at 5.5 by 8.5 because that's the size of my interior, book dimensions. And so when I'm done with my book, I have a near accurate page count, because if you write your book in 8.5 by 11, you're going to have to multiply the page count by about 1.3. And that will give you the results of, if you had 100 pages, 1.3. It's going to wind up being about a 130 page book when you shrink those pages down from 8.5, 11 to 5.5 by 8.5, for example. So I just like to start right out from the get-go. I'm going to change the page size, put it at 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to start writing. Reason number 3, you can proofread your book on your phone, away from your desk, in bed, on the couch, sitting in the recliner chair, wherever, restaurant, cafe. That's the thing. You're going to write at your desk, but you're going to grow tired, and then you're going to need a break. Well, you're still kind of hungry to work on your book. Well, go away from the desk and just bring your phone with you. Open up the Google Doc template on your phone and then proof away. I cannot tell you how many times I have written books and then I stepped away from the computer because I was tired, laid in bed, and I proofread my book. I found errors. I found things I wanted to change. I just got more comfortable and more close to my written work. I loved it. Writing in Google Docs helps you proofread your book away from your desk. Reason number 4, Google Docs help spot misspellings and other errors in your written work so you can make those corrections on the fly, live right there as you're working it. Some programs don't make corrections as you type. Microsoft Documents will, there's other programs that will, but some don't. And what happens is there's all these invisible, obvious errors. Well, if you could see them because they're brought to your attention with a red underline or something, you can easily and quickly make those corrections and changes to save your editor time fixing obvious misspellings and other problems. And then also you're fixing them yourself. So if you ever let someone else read this document, you won't look like a fool because you've made those corrections yourself too. I love Google Docs for that reason. Reason number 5, you can share your Google Doc book writings with your editor or multiple editors so they could all make live corrections and changes. Now, you probably wouldn't want to give your book to multiple editors at the same time per se if you have more than one editor, but many people don't. So they just have the one editor, like I do, share my document with them, and off to the races they go. Hey, Bart, I looked at your work. I proofed it all. I edited it. It looks good to go. Why don't you take a look at what I did? Great, thanks. Google Docs is easy to share. And then reason number 6, with my Google Doc book template, all you got to do is simply replace what you see in red text with your own, and then fill in the pages with your book content, and your book is done really fast. Now, let's take a look at my Google Doc book template so you know exactly what I'm talking about and how you really can write your book really fast with the help of my Google Doc book template. So here we are in my Google Doc book template. Now, I want to preface this book template with something I want to tell you. I've seen a lot of gurus purport to give you a template for their book writing process. Let me tell you something. Stuck in the mud, go nowhere, static PDF document that doesn't take you anywhere. It's just, they say step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and that's their template. You know, that's not a template. And this, what you're about to see, is going to change how people write their books forever. Because I've never seen this done before, and I came up with this Google Doc book template, and I'll tell you something, I don't start or write any of my books anymore without starting in the Google Doc book template. And I have all my clients and all my friends start their books with this Google Doc book template too. They love it. It's online. It's in the cloud. They can make their changes. And just like I said earlier, all you got to do is replace the red text with your text. So let's take a look at this Google Doc book template. Right here, book title goes here. Replace it with your title. Subtitle goes here. Your name goes here. Now, this is just rough text that you're going to type in here. You know, this is not your cover. It's just, let's go with the book title, subtitle, and your name. All I'm going to do now is scroll down the page. Oh, and look what we have here. We've got a copyright notice page. Just fill in the book title, your name, and leave the ISBN number blank for now because you're going to get that later. But book title, your name, his or her website, your website goes here. Disclaimer, the information in this book is true and complete to the best of my knowledge, etc. Hey, delete this section if you're not going to use it, or reword it for your own needs. Again, scrolling, acknowledgments. You know, I would like to thank and enter the names of the people separated by commas. Delete this section if you're not going to use it. Dedication. I'd love to dedicate this book and this work to enter the names of the people, the cause, separated by commas, etc. Delete this section if you're not going to use it. Scroll down. Table of contents, message from the author. And here are your chapter titles. Just replace what you see in red ink, right? Summary and encouraging words, back pages. Message from the author. Basically, I have this filler text in here for you, but all you got to do is just delete it and start typing your message. You know, stuff like that. Scroll down, chapter 1. Start writing for chapter 1 right here in the Google Doc. Again, just erase this, okay, and start typing. Chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and chapter 10. Now, you may have 12 chapters, 20 chapters, 7, doesn't matter. Just delete these pages and customize this book template for your needs. Summary and encouraging words from the author. You don't have to have this section, but I do. Hey, I'm really glad you went through this book. What did you learn? What are some of the top things that you picked up out of this book that you're going to use and implement in your life? Blah, 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 blah. About the author. And then back page content. Again, delete this section if you're not going to use it. But this is where you might put upsell pages to other books you might have written, your website. Talk about your services, recommended products and services, attend one of your events. This is where you showcase what you do in the back of the book while you have the reader's attention. And that's it. Now, what do you think about my Google Doc book template? Pretty fast and easy to replace what's in red, start writing. Write. And then when you're done, go over here and just share the document right here with your editor, and you're off to the races, writing your book, getting it edited, and almost getting it to the printer. Come on, let's continue in this series of video tutorials. You're doing great, and comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about this video. I'd love to see your comments.